So, is there any other questions for the speakers? Any comment regarding, now you have a more complete view of HISER project, of part of the activity we have done in the last 4 years. I don't know if you are interested in other results from HISER that not have been reported here today, but are available in the website. And of course, if you are interested in some of those issues, you can contact us. If there is any confidential issue, we will be happy to share that information with you. Any additional comment regarding those opportunities for circular economy in construction, regarding mainly demolition waste? Any conclusions from the speakers? What are your expectations for the coming years? Because HISER will end in 2 months, but we expect to continue working together for many years. So, apart from HISER, any idea do you want to share with us about the development of building sector in the coming years?
I think an important outcome will be the BIM, the BIM. For sure, it's going to be very important to optimize the recycling of the building. Once all the information are going to be stored in BIM, it will going to be easy for demolisher to foresee home what materials is there and how to and plan also the best way to deal with that. I think BIM is going to be play a very important role.
I agree. In fact, apart from BIM, I think that digitalization in general will take a fundamental role in construction as a driver in all the industry.
You mean like 3D printing?
For example, 3D printing, the possibility of using sensors inside our elements at very low cost. I don't know if any other idea.
But as I mentioned before, I think technology is not only it's not the main, does not play the main role. I mean, it plays an important role, but they must be all together. Technology and then also business model and also monitoring and also legislation. All those must work together to make circular. One technology alone is not enough. If you want to.
Well, indeed, if you look at current recycling and reuse problems, those are often caused by construction waste in the past. So if we want to solve these problems, we will need to look into the construction of new buildings and make sure we make buildings that can easily be disassembled. That would solve a lot of our current problems.
In the coming years, we will expect new materials, probably more attached all together, creating multi-layer materials that will be difficult for disassembly. So that's something we will need to address.
But as far as I know, they are working also on the joint, for instance, the people working in the steel industry, they are working for easy to disconnect beams, metal beams. So you can see an important issue how to remove an important issue is how to dismantle the steel structure from each other, and they are working how to make it easy in order to not deform the beams when they are dismantled. This is also a very important issue. Also, the prefab industry, I think, should play another role to make it possible to dismantle the building which are made of prefab component, and to make it easy to be mounted and dismantled.
Okay. Thank you.
In terms of orientations for further research, I think if I look at the concrete sector, we have shown that we have quite well-developed technologies to deal with the coarse part of the demolition materials. And IDEA, I think, gives a good example of that. Still, we have a problem with the fine particles, I mean, with the sand. And so in France, we are extending our the possibilities of reusing recycled materials in concrete. Those days we are finishing a guide that will be promulgated in France to ease the concrete recycling into concrete, and we allow a higher percentage of sand as compared to what is already in the standards. But we know that probably people will have some difficulties to adopt that, because when you put more than some percent of sand, you have problems with workability, with consumption of super pesticides and so on. So I think it's a good message to address to researchers and to research community. We need to do something on the sand to make it more friendly to new concrete.
What about the geopolymers? What do you think about geopolymers?
So geopolymers is another topic. I think it is not directly related with recycling. For me, the problem with geopolymer is that the basic material is quite scarce. I mean, if you look for materials that can release a soluble silica, which is the main aspect we are asking for a binder to be used in geopolymers, then you find the same product as the ones we are using with Portland cement, like fly ash or slag, and those products are scarce. So if you look at what is the CO2 saving potential of 1 kilogram of slag, whatever the use in conventional concrete or in geopolymer, it's more or less the same, but at the end you are lacking slag.
Thank you for sharing your view with us. Any question from the public after this small debate? Well, if not, I would like to thank you very much for attending this workshop. I remind you that we are sorry, strong cold here. We remind that you are accessible through the website of the project. And ASM, thank you very much for organizing this workshop. They were able to organize the small lunch, and I think it's already 2:35, so in just 20 minutes. Oh, in 20 minutes. So yeah, we must stay here discussing between us in small groups. Don't leave, because the food will be ready in a few minutes. Thank you very much.